Hello, welcome back to Divine Destiny Guide. I hope you're doing well wherever you are. Sending you the purest of love and light. As always, God is for us. Who can be against us? You're blessed, you're highly favored, and you are protected as well. So, if it's your first time, I welcome you. Returning soul tribers, new soul tribers, thank you so very much for your continuous love and your support. Couldn't do it without you. So glad that you're here. Thank you very much. So here we have Prophet Ezekiel, renewal, revitalization, resurrection. So this is from, if you wish to, do your own research, Ezekiel 37 verse 11. And this is when he was in that valley of with all those dead bones. And God prophesied, God told him to prophesy to these dead bones to bring them back to life. And so for a lot of you, you have a calling on your life. You are prophesying, you're speaking life into people. You have a destined calling and a purpose on your life. This is number 23. So you're here as a change agent. You give people hope, renewal. It's like transformation from death to life. You're able to speak life into dead situations, even in your own life, dead places. Give people hope, to restore them, to bring back their faith, to restore their faith. It says, but the hour is coming, and now is, when the true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and truth. For the Father is seeking such to worship him. John 4 verse 23. Yes, so it's like, yes, the time is coming, and it's so befitting with this prophet Ezekiel, when the true worshipers will worship, because we know we have a lot of false people out there. They will worship the Father in spirit and truth. For really, the Father is seeking people who are true believers, who will obey to worship him. And then we have here King Solomon. We know he was the wisest man. Wisdom, strategy, discernment. So a lot of you, you're very wise. You know what is going on. You know what is happening. And with the gray here, it's wisdom. You've experienced a lot. You've been through a lot. You're very intuitive as well. So God bless you with gifts of knowing. People may think that they're getting away with things, but no, you know. And we have Moses, destiny, chosen, protected. Yes, so you're protected. There is a destiny, there is a calling, you're chosen. And therefore it doesn't matter. This is why it doesn't matter if they drag you through the mud, your name through the mud, all the witch hunts, everything that they are doing. It's because you are true to who you are. You are true to your calling. And you have a calling on your life. You are here. It's destined. And of course, the enemy will try to see how he can work in others to take you out. But again, you are here for such a time as this. And this is why the weapons may form, but they cannot prosper. This is why, there is this saying, they pick you up, they lick you down, or they throw you down, you're going to bounce right back. You're a hard person to get rid of. And a lot of people who have tried this, they're realizing that you are destined. I mean, Moses, his mom put him in a basket. Send them down the river. I don't know if they had alligators, whatever. But again, it's to show you that you will walk through the valley of the shadow of death and fear no evil. God, when his hand is upon you, the enemies, yeah, they cannot touch you. Now, of course, you use discernment. You're not gonna put yourself in places, like the devil tests Jesus. Oh, if you're the Son of God, just throw yourself down. I'm sure God will send angels to catch you. And Jesus rebuked him. So it's the same thing. Don't put yourself in places or do things saying that, yeah, God will this. He protects you. But again, use wisdom. For a lot of us, we've gone through so many things that you can see through the shenanigans. You can see through the lies, the falsehood, the falseness. And this is something that you can pray for as well. Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Again, we have not because we ask not. Yes, God is a spirit, and those who worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. And at the back here, we have Ruth. We have Ruth, perseverance, sacrifice, and courage. Number 11, you may be seeing that. So whatever it is that you're going through, yes, you may have to keep going in spite of, but in the end, it will be worth it. Because even though Ruth, she was in a strange land with her mother-in-law, didn't know anybody, and she was in this field picking up wheat, and that's where she met her Boaz. So see, sometimes we're going through things in life, but you don't know what God is doing in the background. A delay does not mean a denial. Sometimes a setback is a setup for a comeback. I'll say that again. Sometimes a setback is a setup for a comeback. It may seem like you're suppressed, you're squished. You keep pushing and it's like nothing is happening. But God is working out the details. He's ironing out the issues. He's in the courtroom fighting for you. He's in the hospital fighting for you behind the scene. Whatever it is, he's like, he's making a way out of no way for you. And that is what you need to know. That is what you need to know. So some of you could have, some Pharisee who wants to come up against you, who are judgmental, people who are self-righteous, hypocritical. I mean, I love how Jesus handled them when he was here. And of course, they knew that there was something about him. But again, a lot of these people, they were insecure. They didn't want to lose their spot. They're self-righteous. And so it is for a lot of you. You're here to do the work. It's like, even for myself, like, yes, I may have a lot of people who judge me based on what I'm doing, not understanding it. And it's so funny. God is a spirit, and those who worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. And that is in John 4:24. He's a spirit. So when you talk about spirituality, people freak out. But there is no way you can fight a spiritual war in the flesh. And I shared that in a video. This is why when Jesus was here, when he was crucified, he took that opportunity while he was in the spirit to go down to hell, to let the devil know who is in charge, who is boss. It's like, don't forget about it. I mean, he could have done it in the flesh, but I believe he wanted to show us that you really can't fight spiritual warfare in the flesh. Because when the devil went to tempt him, he could have dealt with him, but he wanted to show us how it's done in the flesh. But he also wanted us to know how it's done in the spirit as well. Spiritual warfare. So like for my life, Tasha Cobbs, she has this song, "For Your Glory, I Will Do Anything Just to See You." And I love that song. And I would tell God that for his glory, I will do anything. I will do anything. And so it's so amazing how like I'm here, because it's like sometimes you're like, okay, be careful what you pray for, be careful what you wish for. But I have no regrets, because even in these places, even if it's a place of darkness, where darkness exists anywhere, everywhere, every organization, you have darkness. God needs his people. He needs his true worshipers. He needs the light to go in the dark places. And Paul did it. He became all things to all men. It's like to gain a soul, yes. To point somebody to the cross, yes. To, like Prophet Ezekiel, to speak life into dry bones and dead places, yes. And it takes guts, it takes heart, it takes faith. Because again, a lot of people are going to be hypocritical, self-righteous. And they want to point the fingers again when they are the ones who are doing the wicked deeds. They'll say, oh, they're doing this, they're doing that. And so for those of you who are, like I love to say, in the light, on the right, you're a true worshiper. You're sent by God. There is nothing to be ashamed of. There is nothing to be afraid of. Because wherever there is darkness, God needs the light. We need to be there. Because the thing is, darkness can never overpower the light. Never. Never. So for those of you who are second guessing what you're doing or what you need to do, yes, God is looking for employees. He's looking for true worshipers. Authentic, real people. People who don't care about the looks on their face or the look on their face. Who turn their nose up. And this is why Jesus came. Because a lot of those hypocritical people, the Pharisees, they were just talking, but their actions were not matching up. They walk around with the big scrolls, condemning people, but their life was not exhibiting the light of God. And so, yes, when you have this wisdom, you're able to see through a lot of dark people. You're able to see the fake and the phonies as well. They have a look, a form of godliness. But you see, like with the dead man's bone, that's all it is. They're dead. They're lifeless. And these are people who will sit on their throne, on their high horses, and they will watch people, just faint, just die for lack of knowledge. Because they scorn the very same people that they are charged to take care of. So yes, God is looking for healers and light workers. Wow, Lazarus, resurrect, renew, recover. Yeah, another card of renewal. And we know the story about Lazarus, how Jesus called him forth. Again, speaking life into dead places. For his glory, we will do anything. And again, for a lot of you, like Moses, you have a calling, a charge on your life. And we know Moses, he led the children of Israel out of bondage with Pharaoh, or from Pharaoh. So a lot of you, you're protected. You have a destiny. You have a calling on your life. Moses helped his own people, and one of them turned against him. This is how he ended up running away, because he thought he was helping his own, and then he snitched on him. So he had to run away. But God protected him. Why? Because he has a calling on his life. He has a purpose. Wow. Yeah. And it's like, it doesn't matter what you're going through. For some of you, you may move away from your family in a strange place. And you may say, God, I don't know anybody. How am I going to survive? God prepared a field for Ruth. And not only that, he allowed Boaz to have favor with her. That he told his men, drop some extra. Leave some extra behind so that she can pick it up. He was looking out for her. You see that? God will set up people in your life to look out for you. It doesn't matter what you're going through, what hardship. He will make people make a way for you. He's working in the background. It's almost like going through a door and somebody's in front of you, and that person will hold the door for you until you walk all the way from there to come. God is making a way for you. It doesn't matter what you're going through and who you have to deal with. And for some of you, you don't think that your situation is so dead and gone that God can't bring it back to life again. Don't think you're too old where God can't restore you again. It's like when Jesus showed up, Lazarus' sister, one of them, she's like, where were you? If you were here, you would not have died. Jesus could have stayed where he was and speak life into him, but he wanted people to see. He waited until he started to smell in that tomb, and for people to see the miracle of God. For a lot of you, a lot of us, God is getting ready to raise up some dead situation to bring it back to life. Even you doing it yourself, speaking life into yourself. Speaking life into yourself. For a lot of you, you're done, with the Jacobs, the opportunists, the manipulation in your life. And also for a lot of people who have been opportunistic, who have been users, manipulators, even God is going to work a miracle in their life to turn them around. It's like we know him as Paul today. But before he was Saul, God changed his name because he was an oppressor of the Christians. And God met him on the road of Damascus as he was going to persecute more people. And so it is even for these wicked people who are pursuing our life to take it away. They have a divine purpose. This is why some of them, we pray for God to unalive them too. Like God just, pick them off, But God have them here for a purpose. For them to see the miracle. To see the miracle like with Lazarus. That there is a God. There is somebody greater. Because it's like they will have to testify how hard they came at you. And God still allowed you to stand. You see that? So even for them, a lot of them, they're going to be changed too. Because they're going to be transformed. because you are a testimony. Your life is a testimony to a lot of these people. So, a lot of you people are realizing you are not to be played with. You're a prophet, you're a God prophet or prophetess. God use you. And for those who say, oh, God don't use women, yes, there is a prophet in the Bible. I believe her name is Deborah. And it's so good that, when Jesus came, he had women in his entourage. So again, that was to block a lot of, what was done, isolating women and what we can do. So you are not to be played with. And a lot of these people, they are realizing that, or they will come to the realization of that. Some of these people, they stole your clothing and your hair. But like with King Solomon, you know what they were doing. Or you knew. You have discernment. You have intuition. You're wise. You know what these Pharisees were doing. These self-righteous people. See, a lot of them, like I said before, they're the ones who are dibbling and dabbling in witchcraft. They are the ones who are in cults and coven, who are planning against you, the prophet, the man, the woman of God. But yet still, because what we are doing is looked upon or shunned by a lot of people, it's easy to try to condemn us. When in fact, they are the Pharisees. I mean, do you see how good this guy looks? Crown and all. He's laden with all of that stuff. The materialistic things. So they come out looking good, smelling good. Who would know that they are doing so many evilous things in the dark? For a lot of you, neighbors are involved. People are watching you. Because for the things also that they're doing, they're seeing that you are protected. You have a calling on your life. You have a calling on your life. You have a purpose. Wow. Community, groupie, online, cult, church, posse. People around you. And under the Ruth card, it says courage. A lot of you, it's a fight. You have to keep pushing, going, because a lot of these people, they really want to sacrifice you. But you're strong. You're being courageous. And this is why I'm saying God is making a way out of no way for you. And they're doing all of this because of the power that you have. It's the power that you harness. Again, your strength. Because everything that they're sending, it's boomeranging. It's going back at them. You're still unscathed. And because of that, it's like it makes them want to group up and to go harder. They're cowards. They have to travel in packs. They're groupies. So it's not even for material things, because a lot of the people who don't like you, they have material things. But it's because of what is in you. It's what is in you. Your strength, your courage. You don't give up. Knock you down 9, you're going to get back up 10. It's your mindset, it's your will, it's your determination, it's your drive. It is that boldness that you have, that in spite of everything, you're going to keep going. You're not afraid to take risk and chance on yourself. If it means moving away, if it means leaving the familiar people, places behind, you're going to do it. And people may not like that. It's the power that you harness. This is why they don't like you. Again, the power you harness fell out. Yeah, this is why these judgmental, self-righteous, and hypocritical people, they don't like you. Again, they're hypocrites, because the very same thing that they're speaking down on you about or condemning you for, they're doing that and more. And I'm telling you, a lot of them, they are surprised how you know. Again, they stole your clothing, your items. For a lot of you, it's time to search. People give you things, even your clothing. People give you clothes and gifts. You're wearing things that people give you. You don't know what is in that thing. It's time to get rid of those things. It's time to wisen up. Use your discernment. Because people will do whatever it is that they feel they need to do in order to hold you back. It's the power that is in you. That dunamis. God did not give you the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. He said that's the same power that raised him from the dead. It lives in you. And so when you are a man or a woman of God, when you're called, you're chosen, you have the light, you have the power within you. And people will do any and everything. They will take your clothes, they will take your belongings, anything that has your energy in it. And I believe those things, it's real. Because I think I've shared before, when I was growing up, there was this healer as well who lived above my house. And sometimes he would call me to read the Bible. He couldn't read, but if I miss one word, he was able to tell me. He was a prophet, a man of God. And for the persons who were unable to travel far because they were sick, the person who came on their behalf would bring a piece of their clothing and they would give it to him, and he would hold it in his hand. And based on that, he was able to tell them what was wrong with their family member. And then he would tell me what to write. He would give me a little piece of pencil and a piece of paper. And but it was herbs. He would tell them, what herbs he should drink, and, how many times a day he should drink it, and what herb he should bathe into. He was not into any of those, demonic things. It was like natural herbs. A lot of it grew all over the place. And people would get results from that. So yes, people want to take things of yours that has your energy, to use it to see if they can manipulate that, to hurt you, to bring you down. Again, it's your wisdom. It's what you know. It is what is in you, not on you. This is why people are hating so hard for a lot of you. It's not even because of what you wear, where you live, what you drive. It's because of the qualities that you have. And they are too weak in order to work on themselves. So a lot of them, they're surprised as to how you know what they were doing all this time, what they were up to. But again, you are a man, a woman of God. You are wise, you're intuitive. God tells you stuff. You are his servant. He tells us his secret. So for a lot of you, it's like, yeah, they hated you and were jealous of you since you were a child. Like Moses here. A lot of you, from the day you were born, you have family members who detested you, even your own siblings. They hated you. Because it's like, I don't know, maybe they could detect that you have a light, you have something within you. You were the black sheep. And so at the back here it says they sent an X to trap you. So for a lot of you, people want to get you caught up. So they were jealous of you since you were a child. For a lot of you, You could have gone through things in your life and you bounce back. Your ability, like with Lazarus, to come back, to resurrect, renew, to recover. You could have gone through a lot of illnesses and you're still here. Why? Because you have a destiny, you have a calling, you have a purpose on your life. And this is why, again, without even knowing this, people are just blown away at your ability to bounce back. They pick you up, they throw you down, you bounce right back. Why? Because you have a calling on your life. You have a purpose. And even though they may have hated you since you were a child, they picked on you, isolated you. No matter what you went through, you are still here. You are still here. They could not take you out. They could not break you. You are still here because you have a calling, you have a purpose on your life. And it's like every time they try to push you back in that tomb, you just keep popping back out. You rise to the top. It's the power that you harness. And it doesn't matter who these people around you, they may be snitching or talking, but they too are mesmerized how protected you are, because it's a whole village of them who are grouping together to do this. You're able to recover. You're a healer, like Prophet Ezekiel, to speak life into your dead situation, to return to sender, and to speak well upon yourself. Until next